Everyone, welcome to my broadcast this evening. While we wait for everyone to join us this evening, it's going to be a very snappy one. As many of you say, I want to discuss this evening. I titled this broadcast Nigeria, a sick nation with wicked leadership. Shortly, join me as I look into this topic. Obviously, I know many of you are in the diaspora, so it will be nice to know where you are watching me from. So we can get to the comment section afterwards. But one thing I want to show us this evening is, I'll just make it quickly. I've, you know, I just finished having before I came online, I finished having a conversation with someone. The thing revolved around what do we think is the best thing. Which best medicine do we need to administer so that everyone that is trapped in these, some may call it contraption, some may call it entity, whatever the nomenclature you might want to define this entity. But one thing is very clear, we are all trapped. You know, it beats me and it beats me silly, really, to note that every other place in this world, look at the COVID 19 um, issue, for instance. Every other place in the world, people get the vaccine. They use their processes to bring people in to come and take the vaccine. But in Nigeria, people get the vaccine. Suddenly, the same looters, the same plutocrats, irrespective of their age, will be the first to take, even jumping ahead of key workers. When we talk about key workers, if you're a bus driver, you should actually get the vaccine before your boss. If you're a nurse, you should actually get that. If you're a taxi driver, because these are receptionists, these are people who on a daily basis interface with the public. And these are people who should get the vaccine. But here you have a wicked bunch of leaders jump the queue again, queue they jump just to go get the vaccine, and you ask yourself, sometimes you blame the leaders, but there are times that you ask yourself, what manner of configuration do we have in our brains? Because obviously you can see that individuals, obviously, they put their own, somehow add to the mix. Here in Lagos, I heard in Falomo, here in Lagos, that people were actually taking money from foreigners. Nigerians will come stand in the queue. Then these guys will take money from foreigners and take them through the back door. You ask yourself, with which wood are we carved off? What manner of people? I mean, when I heard this on an Arise TV on a discussion by Rufai and Abati and all the rest, and I thought to myself, something must be wrong with us. Something must be wrong with us. Have a listen. I believe if the video will play, let me see if the video can. Then it's, I don't know, because this is not.
Reports reaching us indicate that some medical staff at an approved COVID-19 vaccination center located at the Falomo Hospital are allegedly subverting the outlined process of vaccination by collecting bribe from individuals, especially Indians. The report, which described the vaccine center as a cesspool of corruption, was said to be purposely disorganized so as to enable their illicit activities, as every worker had their own client who they gave preferential treatment. The report also indicates that over 25 Indians got vaccinated through the back channel. In the meantime, while every state in the country has received supplies of the AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine, Kogi State remains the only state that is yet to receive its delivery. Rufai, I think this is such an important story. I'd love your comment on this.
This is such a very important story, and the report is out there, and we're looking at it. It's quite very sad. Somebody that went to take the vaccine yesterday got out there and discovered that what they were doing was people had touts that would wait outside, and in Falomo here. So I think even me, I'll go to Falomo here to go and see things for myself very soon. People had touts that will wait out. Then you talk to your touts, they will book you. Others that are on the queue, they will never call them. They'll tell them it's not their turn yet. Then they will pack themselves inside through the back door, come and take the vaccine while people are sitting there. Names were mentioned in Falomo here. And it's quite sad. On top of COVID, must we be corrupt about everything in this country? Must we? This one is not a case of government. It's just people that are giving vaccines that are doing racketeering and arranging themselves. And that's why when I'm done for me, I will go to Falomo there and go and sit down there and see things for myself. So if you are doing it in Falomo, you are watching us now, you better stop.
Good. Rufai, because we're like coming an there. Update on that once you get
what
there.
What we're dealing with clearly is corruption.
Yes.
And we've had corruption with the procurement process in parts of Africa and other parts of the world. And it's important that in the immunization process, we must insist on accountability. Now, the Falomo example that has been cited is a wake-up call for the Lagos state government, as it is for other state governments, to realize that the process can be corrupted. In Lagos, as I pointed out earlier, the program is supposed to be in 4 phases, but nobody is following the 4 phases. A lot of people who do not fall into phase 1 are already going there, and they are clogging up the queues. Now, when the MPCACDA director, Faisal Shuaib, made a presentation in Abuja yesterday, he talked about getting even the ICPC to ensure security, and accountability. And at the time the rollout started, we were told that vaccine accountability officers will be deployed from the federal government across the country. Where are those vaccine accountability officers whose responsibility is to monitor the process?
Yes, Tunde, a quick
Hence the importance of the story.
Yes.
We really need to highlight it and draw attention to it.
When you watch this, especially those of you in the diaspora, those of you maybe in Asia, those of you in the United Kingdom, many countries in Europe, in America, you sit back a little bit and think of how you were called upon based on your health status, based on your age. Obviously those aged and those with underlying health issues like liver, kidney, maybe cancer or anything, called upon to come and take your vaccine. Now, just oppose that for a moment with what you just heard, where people would just, just pause for a moment. Imagine you are in India. Imagine for 1 second in India. Do you think an Indian would give you preferential treatment before he or she attends to a fellow citizen? Where is our sense of blackness? Where is our sense at all? Where is our pride? You take maybe, I don't know, 2,000, 5,000, maybe 10,000, I don't know how much. You deny a fellow brother, sister, a vaccine meant for the Indians shown here, maybe in their late 30s and 40s, they are not in the first priority group. They are not nurses. Neither are they, in the front line doctors. These are likely to be engineers working somewhere. But here we are. This when we talk about corruption, is beyond government. Here, this is not government. Remember, as Ruben Abati said in that clip, in the procurement process, there was corruption, massive one. Remember when Peter Obi was even saying, if you want to get this thing cheaper, I can for this amount, even the amount you're paying. But nobody wanted to listen. Why is it that a a nation of wicked leadership that would want to, at every single point in time, the leaders are skewing, killing, scheming, doing all manner of evil. The led, the followers, those that follow, they do the worst as well. Sometimes I come to the conclusion that if you just randomly go to the street and get somebody and go and replace Buhari, that person will probably even be worse than Buhari. Randomly go and get the couple of people to replace the current rubber stampers you have in the National Assembly, they will be worse. If people in their own little rights become local government chairmen, they become lords that nobody means anything to them. Then you ask yourself, something is obviously and fundamentally wrong with the whole freaking system. You treat your own citizens wrong. You give a medication or an vaccine that was meant to be for your citizens, of course, for everyone within the country, because that includes foreigners. Imagine for 1 second you're in Atlanta watching me now, or you're in Düsseldorf in Germany, and someone would want to treat you, give you COVID before a German, or before an American, or before an Indian, or a Chinese. Hmm. Sometimes, honestly, it's mind-boggling. Now, that's on one part. On the other part, you have. Let me quickly see if I can get this. Lorita Onochie. Many of you will know him, the presidential aide to the president, Muhammad Buhari. Now, here she was saying that the government would get quickly that ICPC. Look here, look. Let me see if that is yeah. Okay. So quickly, look. Just read this. Just go through this. You see how sick we are. An aide to the president, to the Nigerian president on social media, Loretta Onoche says, Nigerians who flaunt lifestyle as they cannot afford offline, online, will be investigated by the economic. When you read something like this, you think, why do we have cucumbers and carrots in government? Let me just be nice. Let me not use words that will, make Facebook, YouTube, flag my video. Why do we have cucumbers and carrots? Why do you need to tell Nigerians that if they flaunt their lifestyle that is not commensurate to what they earn, that you should look in, that EFCC and the ICPC would look into them? But this is statutorily their job. So why do you need someone to remind you of this again? Why? Who do us serve? Why do I need someone to remind me that this is the case? And I'm reading this, I'm thinking, hold on a minute, what is wrong with here? What is wrong here? Look, The other time, I think was last week, EFCC is telling bank staff that they need to fill in their access form. And I'm like, are you people normal? You haven't enforced those. Even your president, the one that did you 419, the one that said he was going to do XYZ, he was going to submit his asset declaration form. He was going to submit it. He won election. First time he didn't. All he can tell you, oh, I submitted it to Bureau of Conduct, whatever, Conduct Bureau, that he submitted it there. Wasn't it the same submission that Goodluck Jonathan did? Goodluck Jonathan submitted it, but didn't do like his boss, Yaradua. Yet Yaradua never campaigned on fighting corruption. But Yaradua, a man of peace, a man who understood what it meant to be a president, did the right thing. He filled his access declaration form, made photocopies, called the press, give them the photocopies, go investigate. You see, that's a man who wants to be upright. But here you have a man who campaigned on the same issue, yet when it comes to doing as promised, voila, nobody does it the way again that he promised. You ask yourself, why? Granted, again, without sounding immodest here, of course, your lifestyle, the lifestyle you live must be, sometimes I think that the system is so lazy. These are very simple things to do. Listen, if someone stops you and you're driving a car that is worth 13 million, okay, they check you out, account number, what you do, your tax. You're not able to pay from your tax deductibles because that's what the amount of tax you pay determines the amount you earn. Many of you in Europe, you understand this better. Maybe many of you in England, you said they have the tax band. Some of you earning maybe £30,000 below, you pay about 20%. When you move over 40,000 and above, you begin to pay 45%. Over 200,000, it changes. So, someone who stops you say, okay, you're earning 50,000. The amount of tax you pay is there. But people can be flaunting wealth without any source. However, I think this is a very good move. But my issue with this, hence bringing it up, is it's absolute rubbish. You don't need the people, you don't need to tell the people you're going to do this. That's my argument. You don't need to tell the people you were going to do this. If you want to do it, go ahead and do it. That's it. Go ahead and do it. So why bother anyone that you want to do this, you want to do the other one? It means absolute rubbish. It means absolute, it's basically nothing. It's basically, I think maybe my internet is playing up today. My video appears not to. Okay. So for me, it means absolute nothing. Now you're moving away from corruption, then you're going to jump in deeper in another corruption. Now hear this confession. Let me see if I can find his name, because these are the type of things you hear sometimes, and I think many of you. I think this is again a Rise TV. Let me see if I can find the individual name. I'll play you the audio, but let me see if I can find his name quickly. He's a whistleblower. That's Shehu Shehu Mahon. Shehu, I think. Listen to what he's saying here. It makes a lot of sense. Now, you look at it from the medical side, everyone is corrupt. People who blame the government. Suddenly, they are in a position of authority to give people COVID-19 vaccine in order to prevent people from catching COVID. They are making business and making money out of it. That's number one. On the other hand, you look at the presidency or those who represent them, they're talking, yeah, people should, um, lifestyles should be commensurate with what people earn, blah, blah, blah. Yet these are same people that move in convoys. These are the same people that move in convoys. The same people that move in convoys. And you ask yourself, how did we even get here? Well, let's listen to this guy so we understand. Let's see if he's going to play. Let's let me see if he's playing or is something not working this evening. What's the issue here, people? I hope you can hear me loud and clear. Okay. Yes, you can hear me. But quickly, let me see if I can. Okay. So let me quickly pull him up here. Um, let me quickly pull him up here. That's I think it's corruption. And you ask, why do we have wicked leaders? And these wicked leaders, the sad part is, it goes across all ethnic divide, all strata, from your local government to your state. So listen to this guy.
It has never happened. Let me give you this rundown. As I'm talking to you now, over 16 permanent secretaries who had served their legitimate 35 years in service, who had retired and have collected their pension and are collecting their gratuity, have suddenly been brought back into public service as permanent secretaries, thus collecting a monthly salary, collecting their gratuity every month, collecting their pension every month, having paid their gratuity long ago. Why are they back? It is because they have been participants in the past looting, and being out of the system will not be safe for the current manager of the Nigerian economy, of the capitalist state economy. Secondly, they are also back because they have the permanence, they have the secretary to the government as the governor, as people who are either their blood relations, or their personal friends, or they are own partners in crime. Therefore, keeping them longer outside the system of government will not be safe for them and will be giving the governor and the SSG sleepless nights. Number two, where you have a cashier, there is a cashier called Moghalu. He was a cashier in the government house for 6 years. During his reign as the cashier, he was the closest person to the SSG. And by the last count, they have withdrawn in cash within the period of 5 years over 40 billion naira, with Moghalu's name appearing at every cash collection in tranches of 10 million, 10 million, 10 million over the last 5 years. Therefore, keeping Moghalu at a distance will not be safe. Therefore, what they did is now they transferred Moghalu back to another department in the governor's house, in the governor's office, under the power generation project. He was at the local government ministry as a cashier, and you could see what he did. Within a day, he will go to the bank 25 times. Access Bank has a branch in Katsina, has a branch in Daura, has a branch in Malumfashi, has a branch in Funtua. Now, in a kind of unbelievable behind-the-scene power, you will see in bank statement the same cashier, Moghalu, have visited Malumfashi with 20 checks of 10 million naira, let's say on 1st January, and he has cashed them. In the same day, he has been to Daura with 32 checks of 10 million naira, cashed them. In the same day, he was in Casino Central with 28 checks of 10 million naira, cashed them, and in one British in Malifashi, all on the same bank statements, such that in one day, he will collect 1 billion naira cash. In a total of 1 month, he will collect over 6 billion naira cash. Recently, in a bank, in Access Bank, I have the account, I have the details, I have everything. In between just one account, Kaduna State government has 43 bank accounts. In just one account, in 5 years, Masaudu Aliyu collected 11 billion 498 million in cash. One begin to wonder, where is EFCC? Where is NFIU? Where is the central bank? Where is NDIC? Where are all other financial regulating organizations when this nonsense is happening? The tragedy in Kaduna is being orchestrated and is being supported by all banks that have Kaduna State government account in their banks. They are complicit. They are conniving with government officials to steal people's money for selfish and irresponsible reasons. I will go further again. You have somebody who is just on level 10. Just last week, there were appointments. And incidentally, of the appointment of permanent secretaries, 4 of them are officers below the level 12. But they were upgraded against all clarion calls. Now they are permanent secretaries in court. What will happen to the psychology of their colleagues? What will happen to the psychology of their seniors? What will happen to the psychology of the entire public servants? It is the same system where in the last 9 years, there are people who are called casuals. It is against the level in Nigeria. There are people who are still earning 5,000 naira in Kaduna under the nonsense casual payroll. I can continue ad infinitum.
You know, sometimes you listen to these arguments. I have engaged people yesterday and today saying that some of the things he said in this video are exaggerated. And I said, and so what? I have argued against, someone said, oh, the places he mentioned that he traveled from Kaduna to Castina, make these withdrawals, make this. I say, well, that is the meat of the matter. I believe, if I understood him right, he was saying, or rather insinuating, that for these crimes to happen, this single individual couldn't have been doing it going from Kaduna or Kano in order to make this crime. There were people or there were accomplices. So who are those people? And another school of thought in one of the group discussions says, well, it remains to be proven. I said, where are we coming from? Are we all idiots? If EFCC and ICPC, what you need to do is get him, investigate his claim because he's blowing whistle. If he's making a false claim, charge him, penalize him. If he's making genuine claims, investigate them, investigate those claims, pay him his own cut, and, do your job. But here you are on a national TV, someone comes and makes this allegation. Everyone just says, yeah, maybe he's not saying the truth. With which wood are you people carved? Like Raphael Obunna said, he says that when a baby goat, or rather that the baby goat watches the mother goat, the type of leaf he eats, the people at the lower level of economy are watching what those on top are doing. Obviously, that is correct. Because when those at the top echelon keep stealing without any form of, interjections, then you keep wondering what is happening. No one cares. State, local government, everyone keep stealing. Same thing keep happening. It's keep regurgitating. It keeps happening over and over and over again. At the federal level, look, even I think the leadership had a fantastic article that had to do with the refinery, and they called it the refinery that is the Port Harcourt refinery. Yeah, look, this is what they said. They said 1.5 billion-dollar Port Harcourt refinery repair. The more you look, the less you see. The more you look, the less you see. That is what the nation has become. Now, if I go through what they've wrote, they say the Port Harcourt refinery is one of the assets listed for sale by the cash-strapped cash strapped federal government. Remember, federal government at some point said they need to offset some of the assets. If you recall, before Obasanjo left in 2007, the refinery was sold. Now, here is a federal government that says they have removed fuel subsidy, this, that, and yet nothing. Everything is shrouded in secrecy. Sadly, in a dramatic turn of events, the government last week Wednesday announced that it plans to spend 1.6 billion to repair the refineries. $1.6 billion. $1.6 billion. If that is not a nation of thieves, I don't know what else we can talk about. If you recall again, about 16 years ago, the group executive chairman of Owando PLC, Wale Tinubu, lost a bid to buy the Port Harcourt refinery to Blue Stars that was put together by Aliko Dangote and Femi Otedola. Well, again, that is when I believed if that refinery was sold, no matter how painful at that time, 16 years later, you wouldn't be here today. But that deal that was struck then, the government of Olusegun Obasanjo eventually awarded that refinery to Blue Stars at the rate of 500 million. 500 million. Now, if we had taken $500 million 16 years ago, the same refinery is what we are now wanting to sell for what we are wanting to repair with $1.5 billion. What manner of a nation is this? Atiku Abubakar tweeted that a refinery with similar capacity is on sale for 1.2 billion, just to give us an idea. Yet in the last couple of years, the NNPC, both Kaduna and Port Harcourt, has never made any profit. People, you know what they mean. You're supposed to sell borehole water. No, not sell. You're supposed to you've done a business of borehole. You're supposed to extract water, pump it up, use gravity, sell. 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. You are not extracting any water. Your borehole is broken. You are not selling any water. Your borehole is broken. But all the managers, everyone in the office, all the technicians, everyone is getting their money every month. They get their money every month. Nobody cares on how to repair the refinery. They are being paid. They go on holidays in Europe and America. They travel the world and everybody move on, go on as if nothing ever happened. You see? It's just insanity. The more you look, the less you see. The more you look, that's why I like that, the more you look, the less you see, because that's what it is. Hmm. Again, if we recall, I think Petro China had a bid for Kaduna for about $103 million, and we didn't sell. When Barrow came in, the former GMD of the one that took over from Ibe Kachuku, they spent millions again of dollars engaging on turnaround maintenance. You've turned it around, you maintained it, yet you cannot refine. Waiting they happen, sef. They swear for now. We just keep wasting money, wasting money, wasting money. That's what the nation. eh? If you recall again, in 2015 September, the former Minister of State for Petroleum, that is Ibe Kachuku, told the world that time that he had been assured that only $10 million was spent by NMPC engineers to fix the Port Harcourt refinery in a phased rehabilitation. This was in 2015 after the APC government won the election. Suddenly, when some abracadabra was done, because he was Minister of State for Petroleum, eventually he was removed, and Markante Barrow became the GMD NMPC. What then happened? The first thing we heard that a firm that repaired, an Italian firm, Technomint or whatever, Matt, was that they owed them $1 million from earlier consultancy and was happy to return the money that they owned. We thought that was, that was something. Now, again, bear in mind, before I said about 10 million spent, the one that Kachiku reported, will add 1 million. I mean, when I say this is dollars, or this is not naira. Then you come down again. Another company, I think by name JGC, retrieved a design towards the end of 2019, submitted the first service bill to NMPC, which was a bill of $50 million for a comprehensive integrity test. Shame leave NMPC if they catch me. For what they call comprehensive integrity test, scoping of the project, which is the Port Harcourt refinery, the cost of repair of the refinery, and said it will now cost 1.78 billion this time. While Techmont would be the main consultant, it will also act as a contractor subletting areas outside its competencies, like core engineering, for example, blah, 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 blah. Then you ask yourself, if we have people with gray matters in between the scores, sorry, I will keep using that, why can't they use that money maybe for 10 modular refineries? That maybe, why must we always going back to these omnibus refinery that never worked? Why? You just keep, my submission this evening is that the leadership that we have is a very wicked one. And the nation is sick, real sick. The nation is sick. Have you ever wondered why suddenly it appears everybody just want to leave the nation to rot? Because the nation is sick. Yet some people will have the infantry to say, don't break the nation, or it is what that kind of useless language. It is treason to break the nation. What are the reasons to actually save it? What are the reasons? What would make people to actually say we want to save this thing? What is there to hold on to? You see, the failure, because the system is not working, and the failure of the system is what gives rise to agitation and for people to say we want out. It's as simple as that. Again, today I was watching, I was rewatching the video of when Buhari was still speaking to the journalists. One time he had that conversation with Al Jazeera, and I was just rewatching that clip. The way and manner he answered the question that the Al Jazeera women asked him at that point. And you can see the disdain, you can see, non engaging attitude because he was asked a very simple question. Will you be ready to engage on those who are agitating to break this nation? The question was very simple because any sensible person would have been expecting it because, yes, people, uh, you know, people kind of want to also be listened to, and that is their legitimate right. People want to be listened to. Are we going to be, or would we have been in this mess if we had a government that listened to the people? If we had a government that had human feeling, agitations are people's right. People have the right to say, well, this one is not working out. I want out. Of course, government have the right to now say, oh, why are you feeling this way? Okay, come, let's sit down and talk. Let me understand the reason why you're feeling this way. If I'm telling you, oh, the reason why I'm feeling this way is because you're not providing security, my parents can no longer go to the farm, or my siblings can no longer go to the farm, and even myself, I can no longer go to the farm. Then at that moment, it is expected that leadership would say, we are deeply sorry that you feel this way. Can we address the issue? Many people forget that in the 80s, less than 40 years ago, that Canada was in the same. Canada that everybody run to now. But it took a man who understood when the Quebecans were wanting to leave the Federation. Engagement. But here you have a set of wicked leaders who are unwilling, who sees anything outside what they are getting from the government as a threat, and who doesn't want you to discuss any other thing on how to continue on something that is not working. If had the government gone ahead and engaged the people of Nigeria on their own document on restructuring, the people would not. be demanding right, left, center, middle, west, east, north, everywhere. Look at insecurity everywhere. In some states, not even my own state of Anambra. All we hear is that unknown gunmen kills this, killed the other one. I mean, insecurity everywhere. Yet, the leadership at the top keeps quiet, act as if everything is normal. Keep acting, keep acting, keep acting, because you will quickly one day discover that there might be nothing you are actually holding. When people turn around and tell you they are no longer interested in any form of dialogue, it means a lot. It should worry every single government to know that the people are getting fed up. Like I promised us, I would keep the conversation slightly short that it doesn't get to 1 hour. Join me tomorrow evening on this platform, on our Facebook, probably also on my Twitter handle. I will be discussing with Dr. Tony Nwezigwe and Dr. Law Mefo tomorrow. We will be looking into the comments made by former media aide to President Goodluck Jonathan, Doyin Okukwe, who said that Igbos, I paraphrase, should not be allowed for 2023 until they have apologized for the killing of the Sardauna and Amadu Bello. Amadu Bello and the Tafawa Balewa, sorry. That's Sardauna of Sokoto. That is Amadu Bello. And the late Prime Minister, the man with the golden voice, in the person of Tafawa Balewa. That conversation is going to hold tomorrow. And we want to look at it from various planks. Some of the Igbos want out of Nigeria, some want restructuring, but irrespective of where you stand, your right remains your right, and no one can trample upon your right, and many of us could not sit back and see that happen without challenging it. On that note, I will say join me tomorrow once more, 6 o'clock Nigerian time, 6 p.m. tomorrow on this channel. Again, the only people that are not speaking up on the injustices and on the insecurity in this nation are only those who are benefiting from the system. On that note, I will say thank you very much for being part of this conversation this evening. I am still Mazi Ezoke. Peace out. Thank you.